We head across the Atlantic for the first of 2 races in North America, first of which round 7, the Canadian Grand Prix, taking place at the Ile Notre Dame, Montreal. And to my right, I have James Whiteley from Exolite.
Alright.
And to my left, I've got someone celebrating his 300th race in FF1M, Courtney Cass from Shake and Bake.
Alright.
300 races, so in the 299 before that, you've had 20 poles, 45 wins, 98 podiums, 6 prototypes, 1 driver's career ended by Liam Neeson, and an entire community offended.
Yeah, I think those are pretty good stats, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Not to mention the 4 drivers' championships and 2 teams' championships. And the drivers consisting of Mansell, Hamilton twice, and Vettel, your most recent one. There's a circuit, and 2 or 3 stops expected for this race. And last season we did see Vettel win, and will he win this time around?
No.
Probably not, no. Yeah. And just a minor recap of the previous race. 6 different winners in the first 6 races, this time courtesy of Cooper Lee, his first ever win in FF1M. And second was the pole sitter for that race, Kevin Magnussen. Third was, who was it? Thomas Gonzalez holding off Lewis Hamilton at the end.
I'd say that's a good graphical representation of our seasons.
He's looking at my ad read that I'm contracted to do later on. But
pretty much,
anyway.
yeah. That's courtesy of his sponsors, Love Bunny. There's a quick view of the... Stop sniggering. Yeah, we're just waiting the qualifying results, and it's his second pole position of the season and in a row for Kevin Magnussen in the FJR. Alongside him, Lewis Hamilton in the Mitchell. I beg your pardon, yeah. 1:12.229 second career pole. There's Alonso for
yes, lad.
Exolite. And Sergio Perez, the first of the 2 Tornadoes up in 4th. 4 different engine manufacturers in the top 4. There's the Monaco winner Cooper Lee 5th, and then Daniel Ricciardo once again doing very well for Andrew Racing in 6th. Nico Rosberg has gone a bit off the boil this season, made another mistake from the lead in Monaco. And alongside him, the winner of the 2014 race here, Valtteri Bottas, completing the top 10, Da Costa and Nicholas Latifi doing quite well in front of his home crowd. 11th, Thomas Gonzalez, race winner of Brazil, alongside him Felipe Massa in the Meister. Then alongside in row 7, you got Kimi Raikkonen, and then the other Exolite of Romain Grosjean.
Did you see the Indy comment that Will Power said?
Yes.
Grosjean was a piece of crap and needed punching in the face.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Anyway, so
my sophistication, clearly. And there we are, finally, 17th. Jesus.
17th for Vettel, Kubica 18th, and by the way, row 8 was Sainz and Hulkenberg in the other FJR. 19th, Jean-Eric Verne, and then Itsuki Yoshida 20th in the Shake and Bake. I wonder how long he's got left in FF1M. Maybe Kobayashi could finally get a drive.
I think it's academic at this point as to who are picking the car.
And on the back row are the 2 Willows, Max Verstappen ahead of Stoffel Van Dorn. Only 3 tenths behind Yoshida, but still some work to do for the Willows team.
So nobody will have seen that because this is radio, not video, but Brickles just moved my head closer to the mic and it was a bit seductive. It felt a bit funny now.
Would you like that treatment, Whiteley?
Oh, yes.
I'll give you it during the race, because on the 5 lights, and out go the 5 lights. And can Magnussen get away well from pole position? It looks as if he has done. Alonso.
Come on, Fernando!
Sorry, that was a bit too much, wasn't it?
A bit too much, but up to second, and look at that, Hamilton off!
Oh, he's gonna. No, he doesn't quite make it back onto the track.
3 into 1 did not go there, and it was Daniel Ricciardo up on the extreme inside. And I think
was that contact with Alonso?
No, it was Daniel Ricciardo making a move
right.
on both Mitchells, I think it was. So Magnussen leads from Alonso, and Sergio Perez up to 3rd with Ricciardo 4th, Lee 5th and Rosberg 6th. Latifi's had a good start from 10th up to 8th place. I'd like to see a bit more of Latifi as we go on board with Cooper Lee in the Mitchell as he chases after Daniel Ricciardo going through 8 and 9, now into the hairpin.
So, who are we following here?
We are following Cooper Lee in 5th place, Monaco race winner Cooper Lee, and Bottas versus Gonzalez going into the casino hairpin. The 2 Meisters and then Grosjean, and then shuffling through the field, there's last Lewis Hamilton. Was not expecting that off the start.
No. What did he? Was he third? No, was he second on the grid?
He was second on the grid.
Yeah.
Poor start as Da Costa Da Costa up the inside of Rosberg.
Oh,
And Bottas nearly losing it at the chicane across the gravel, but saving that one. And there's a bit of a queue traffic jam. Look at Grosjean making a lot of positions up down the main straight.
Go on, Roman.
Can he hold it together in the first corner? Lock up from behind, but Grosjean up to...
Can he get around the outside?
12th position for Roman, as Hamilton trying to go around the outside of at least one of the Willows, going through turns 2 and now into 3, as he tries to make his way back up the order.
It's weird seeing Verstappen down in 21st. Plus this Willows, what's happened?
Willows have not got a very strong engine, and it's likely that they've not got the best aerodynamic car. They've really been struggling this season. So that was the lightning
fast from Alonso.
So he had a car on the inside and the outside, and Ricciardo, it was 3 into 1. Not.
I think
really
that was
working.
I would call that probably a racing incident.
I thought he was going to end up back on the track and just cause an almighty pile-up.
Yeah, but luckily
What
the
a
gravel.
demon start there from.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. That's like Renault back in the mid-2000s start.
Yeah, that the 2005 start where they just went they just
2004 as well. In Monaco.
Yeah, more or
Won
less.
truly the race that basically, didn't it, I think.
Well, Trulli was on.
Or was he on pole
yeah.
there? Who was it? It must be. Was it Alonso?
Alonso.
Who got a demon start. Alonso's always been good at starts though.
That's Gonzalez. Oh, look at that through the chicane, and that must have been at the end of the first lap
Hold
actually.
on, Pete Tong. I think that's gonna gift.
This is a replay we're looking at of how Bottas
Sorry, I did a crofty.
lost a load of positions and Grosjean gaining quite a few.
Sounds like a sexual position to say. Did a crofty.
Good grief. So through the chicane to complete lap number 2, race leader Kevin Magnussen. He's building quite a lead over Alonso, as Ricciardo is being chased still by Cooper Lee. Cooper Lee getting a good run out of the final chicane. And can he do something about Ricciardo into the first corner? Not, it seems, and Ricciardo pulling away on the straights. Makes me wonder if Tornado are running higher engine modes for this race.
I can't remember what I did for this one. I think I was a bit on the higher side.
Yeah, you'd expect it to be quite high.
Its power. Ooh.
Oh, good lord, Rosberg making that move stick on Latifi, and Latifi, in the background as well, that was a Meister and Grosjean having a go. Massa and Grosjean, I think.
God, watching this does make me wish they'd tighten that chicane up. Like, what year's version is this?
This would be 2001 version.
I miss the tightness of that chicane.
Off the track.
Latifi?
Yeah,
No, it's Rosberg.
Rosberg.
Rosberg again. Well,
He nearly took out his teammate there.
I was expecting Bottlberg to appear in there. It usually happens when we're in the commentary booth together. It usually bottles it, does Nico?
Yeah. Hence the term Bottlberg.
So on board with an Exolite. This must be Grosjean versus Rosberg. Not close enough into the hairpin. And Perez versus Alonso going into the first corner. Alonso defending that one and hanging on to second for now.
So a shit engine in it.
Well, we've had an opportunity, us manufacturers, to update the engines between Monaco and this race. Is Courtney going to give any clues as to what he's done with the Megatron?
He's put blue tack in the like cylinder heads or something.
That silence means that he's not done too much.
I'll keep my cards close to my chest.
What
On account that I don't have any cards.
He got Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's his...
Pokemon trading cards he's got to his chest.
Look at this. Just gonna get.
Look, Wiley, if you've got an issue, then you'll have to ring customer services, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
you can't go directly to me about it.
I should stop hiding behind hyperbole and look at this. This is just going to be like...
Nah, it's your aero package, mate.
It's like...
This is the battle for second going into the final chicane. Sergio Perez at the inside.
And that's the power of the slipstream.
It's like GP12.
He's nearly lost that going through the chicane there. Oh, Verne! Jean-Eric Verne out of the race with a crash somewhere. So let's see where that's happened. This is going into the chicane and cars in front. Is that's Hulkenberg versus Vettel, I believe. Going down the main straight. This is going to be a 3 wide moment. Oh, good grief! That is not going to end well at all.
Oh!
And on the Willows and the yep.
Yeah.
And that's Hamilton as well.
He's still intact there, though.
Yes.
Hamilton had an absolute mare. I think she did actually. Oh, sorry,
Is he
no,
gonna
I
have
didn't
another
screw it.
Yeah, it's carried on after that.
Is he
into
going to have another
turn
crash?
2. So 3 and 4.
Yeah,
I don't know.
God.
The physics.
Goal of GP4.
I'm going to put that down to dirty tyres after the incident. So, yeah, once again, 3 into 1 not really working, and Verne coming off much worse out of that, but Hulkenberg's race has also been damaged. And
Right. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen here.
that's Alonso versus Ricciardo for 3rd place now, but they were much better showing for Exolites than in previous races. They did have a double point score last time out in Monaco. Alonso 7th and Grosjean 8th, so...
Look at this.
I think Alonso's got some technical issues with his Exolite there.
That's
Yeah, it's
way
called
too
the-
fast.
It's called the engine.
I was way too fast into the chicane for Ricciardo and didn't make that overtake on Alonso's stick. Now he's got an onslaught, courtesy of Lee and Da Costa. Is it 3 wide once again almost?
Oh. Ooh.
Not quite. Oh, Latifi into the pits. That's quite early. And it is a mechanical issue, electrical, so change of the steering wheel should see to that. But Latifi's race, a bit compromised. Now we go back on board with Lewis Hamilton chasing Sebastian Vettel for 17th place, and himself, Vettel, chasing Van Dorn for 16th. Through the 8 and 9 chicane.
I've never known I've never known Corny in this.
Disinterested.
This laconic. It makes James Hunt look, like he's Murray Walker.
I'm just depressed at this point.
Well, Vettel is closer to Van Dorn than Hamilton is to Vettel. It's single file down the straight, so they're going to have to wait another few corners. But through the chicane goes a compromised Hamilton down in 18th place, and look behind Verstappen in 19th place, keeping relatively close.
Magnus is flying.
6.8 second lead over Sergio Perez, and Alonso 2.5 seconds back on Perez.
Go on, son. Go on.
Here comes Vettel on Van Dorn into the
let's
chicane.
go in
I
too.
was always going.
Oh, go on.
He's going.
Vettel up.
Beautiful move. Very very
Yeah.
smooth.
And here comes the former shake and bake driver, past,
This is going to end in. Oh, no.
who's thinking about a move on Vettel into the first corner, but not making the move yet. Through turn. Oh, Vettel.
Oh, there.
Right.
Oh, that's steering me.
He got away with that. That was novel defending.
That's both getting away.
That was like 2019 all over again.
I was thinking 2019.
It's exactly
Can you imagine if that had been what happened, though?
Exactly.
I'd call that robust defending.
Yes.
Robust.
Nothing wrong with that.
Robust the word I would use.
Nothing wrong with that. I see no problems there.
No penalties there.
Gonzalez making a move on Da Costa into turn 1. Not quite. Battle for 6 between the Andrew and the Tornado. 2 climax runners going at it, but the Andrew limited to 40% ERS race use, and the Tornado can use up to 100 because they're the manufacturer. Interesting, we're seeing 2 errors at turns 3 and 4. I'm suspecting that's going to catch a few more drivers out in this race.
Yes, the error zone.
A bit curious that it caught out Verne on the hard tyres, because you wouldn't expect that from a consistent compound. Through 8 and 9, Da Costa ahead of Gonzalez. Underneath the bridge and approaching the hairpin, not close enough to make the move this time. And who's behind? Kimi Raikkonen's up to 8th, so fairly decent race for himself in the Meister.
Nice seeing the Raikkonen name.
Now what else we got? We got Grosjean on the 9th, so nearly got 2 Exolites in the points.
Go on, lads.
And Alonso still in 3rd ahead of Ricciardo. I don't know why Da Costa was defending into that chicane, because he's just compromised himself.
Yeah. Doing a Fisichella and defending fresh air there.
Exactly, yeah. And now down the main straight. Can Gonzalez outbrake Da Costa? No, he can't.
That was such shit driving from Fisichella. That's remember in Spa 2005. I'm sorry, but like
Spa?
sorry,
Suzuka.
Suzuka. Sorry.
Oh.
When he was defending, because if he didn't do that, Kimi probably wouldn't have been able to pass him. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember.
Just defending on the inside.
It takes away the magic of the
Oh
thing.
yeah. That was beautiful.
And Hulkenberg under pressure from Latifi going into the first corner. And here we go again. Da Costa's coming into the pits this lap. Now this is going to be a bit tetchy if Gonzalez tries to make the move into the chicane.
He's going to go for it. Ooh, nice ice pitting.
Yeah, not Gonzalez, Da Costa into the pits for the first, and I'm only on the lap 10, so that's definitely going to be a 3-stop strategy. And I did catch a glimpse of Magnussen's fuel load. I think he's fuel very light as well, and probably 3-stopping.
I thought he put inters on them, but it was just the glove, the green glove.
The blue ring indicates the hard compound in this series.
They've not got the Ferrari strategists on this.
No.
Into the pits comes Vettel for probably the first of 3 stops. Let's see the fuel, 4.6 up to 28, so that's a fair bit of fuel in the middle stint. As Bottas has a look at Verstappen going into the first corner. Now Hamilton. Where is Hamilton going? So he's in P17, but he's going to make the move into the chicane.
That's
not
too
making
fast.
that.
No,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay, maybe he does.
They're on the edge going into the chicane, and that was past Sainz into... Was it Sainz or is it... Well, Verstappen's making the move on Bottas, actually, into the first corner. As into the pits comes race leader Kevin Magnussen. It's definitely a 3-stop strategy for the Dane.
Mess it up.
Obviously, that will benefit
Partial
Alonso. And about 21 or so laps of fuel going on board, so that should take him to end of lap 32 for Magnussen's second pit stop. So they take a different pit exit than they do in real life, as they feed back at the entry at turn 1 rather than through the middle of turn 2.
Oh yeah.
That old pit exit was a bit Larry.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of a bit Larry.
Hulkenberg making a good move on Bottas.
How did he get that one stopped?
That's...
What brakes have you got on that thing? Hold on a minute, I think we need an inquest into the legality of the FGR brakes.
Gorilla Glue, I think.
Yeah.
Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue dispensers in those brake calipers.
Gorilla Glue and duct tape.
Oh.
Or Gorilla Tape, even. Now I've got an Andrew coming into the pits. That's Daniel Ricciardo. Briefly in third. Still couldn't get past Alonso. So Alonso driving a pretty good race if the Andrew is quicker than the Exolite.
I'm surprised because I was under the impression that Corny had installed Pringle lids for cylinder heads.
I thought he'd driven past his pit crew there. He just come past.
And that's a lot less fuel compared to the likes of Magnussen and other drivers. Only another 21 laps on board. You're still giggling back there.
You're laughing at your own
I'm
joke.
laughing at my own. That's the level of tragic. That was...
That was just ahead of Yoshida. So Ricciardo rejoining in 8th place. Yoshida up to 9th. Now which drivers are going to be 2 stopping and which ones are going to be 3? I think Bottas is 2 as he... gets tapped.
Jesus.
I don't know if he got tapped or if he just locked up the rears.
I think he was tapped.
You're tapped.
Thanks.
So it's Latifi versus Bottas into the first corner. Possible contact. As into the pits comes Rosberg. And has he driven past his mechanics? Well, there they are. So the fuel 5.6 to 21. So short second stint for Rosberg. Could be going to lap 30. Maybe lap 32 actually. As Hamilton comes into the pits. So at the moment we've got Sergio Perez in the lead from Fernando Alonso, Cooper Lee, Thomas Gonzalez, and the first driver 2 have stopped, Kevin Magnussen in 5th place. Interesting to see what Perez, Alonso, Lee and Gonzalez do with their pit strategies, because we're expecting a mix of 2 and 3 stops.
Yeah, Perez and Alonso might be on a 2.
And Robert Kubica, well, if he's pitted already, which he has done, then that's a 3-stop strategy for the pole as he looks to make a move on Rosberg into the first corner side by side. And unlike Magnussen and De Vries in the real life, they make it through no problem.
God, that was understeer there.
Slightly amateur hour-ish. And Kubica continuing his chase of Rosberg. Both those 2 have stopped. So Kubica...
Yoshida up to 8th, although it's because of stops, isn't it?
Yes, Yoshida not doing too badly and could be a 2-stopper. Sergio Perez into the pits from the race lead. Now let's see, that's a short second stint, so I think that's a 3-stop strategy as well. 17 laps, that's only going to lap 29 or 30.
So I wonder what Alonso's doing then.
Yes, Alonso, Lee and Gonzalez. Now
2-stop?
If he is doing a 2-stop, he might be in a good position, to be honest.
Get good track position.
I don't know, you know, the bad luck that I get. For a second then. I thought he'd done a Mansell.
But we have got an Exolite in the lead for, I believe,
Yeah.
the first time this season. So
Jesus Christ.
that must be a good fillip for you.
Yeah, the lesser spotted Exolite.
He's coming in.
He's coming in, yeah, he's 3 in, yeah.
As was Yoshida, I imagine.
Yeah.
So Yoshida pitted the last lap.
Yeah, Yoshida down to
yeah.
15th. Is that Gonzalez in the pits as well? So Cooper Lee now takes the lead. Let's see the fuel go on board.
Is anyone going to 3-stop, I wonder?
Lots of people are 3-stopping.
Sorry, I meant 2. Anyone going to 2-stop?
Well, let's have a
Don't
look
know.
on Cooper Lee, because I think he holds the ticket for the battle for the race lead. As
How much
Alonso,
I didn't really pay attention of how much fuel I took on then. But
3 stops for Alonso.
yeah.
And he rejoins just ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, so that's a crucial one for Alonso.
Yeah.
So depending on what Cooper Lee does, Alonso heading for some good points if it remains that way, but still a long way to go. Some 52 laps to go in this race. Ricciardo versus Alonso going into the first corner, is that? Well, he had to think about it, but he backed out of that one.
Yeah.
And
There
here comes another attempt into the final chicane. Alonso defending well. Oh,
yeah.
bit loose on the exit, and that has let Ricciardo through a better traction. So
Yeah,
Ricciardo,
driver error that. Yeah.
Sometimes silence hits harder than words.
not an unforced error because he was pressured into that one. So at least you can be thankful for that. Unlike
Yeah, defending fresh air there.
missed the apex. He thought he was in Mont
Yeah.
Tremblant.
Because the engine's so ruined, he keeps getting reversed when he thinks he's going to 5th.
Nah, that's a gearbox issue.
And I think Lee is definitely 2-stopping because we're on lap 22 and he's still in the lead from Magnussen as Gonzalez makes his way past Alonso into the final chicane, and Alonso is about to gesticulate towards his pit crew, I think, because he was moving towards the middle of the circuit. Lee into the pits. I'm pretty sure 2-stopping in this race.
There you go, they're about to thrust the tyres on. Speaking of which, the Thrust Pro Elite Lexi rechargeable remote control vibrating masturbator kit is down from $399.99 to $279.99. You can, it's got an arse on it and it's got boobs on it. So depending on whether you're an arse or a boobs man, you can flip it over. So there you go. It's not got a head, so.
Just for promo, can you send that through to the?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll just need to use a discount code, which is Alonso makes too many mistakes, and his engine is superb.
Something like maybe more budget should go into the crankshaft rather than the.
Well,
I'm holding
the
my
shaft,
finger over the red button here to terminate your engine.
And approaching the
Well, it wouldn't be any slower.
approaching the butt of Kevin Magnussen's car is Sergio Perez, because that gap is coming down. 1.7 seconds before this sector, now 1.6 seconds. So we've got a battle for the lead incoming between these two.
Oh, who cares?
I care, it's my car.
Yeah. People tune in to see what the Megatron powered cars do. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's such an iconic brand that it's like Ferrari. You know, everyone's a Ferrari fan, aren't they? Really, everyone's a Megatron fan. Really.
Yeah.
And how well's Megatron doing? Well, both X-Lights in the points now. Alonso 6th, Grosjean 8th. So
Look, form is temporary, class is permanent.
yeah, how temporary is your form in the shake and bake?
We're all temporary. We're all here for a short time, but at Megatron we need to make sure that it's a good time. So, I
What
don't
an
know.
existentialist moment just to. Yeah.
Through turns 8 and 9 goes Kevin Magnussen, and the gap now down to 1.4 seconds. So I'm expecting a battle for the lead some point soon between these two. Through the hairpin goes Magnussen. So everyone's made stops now. Latifi's made 2 because he had that unscheduled stop on about lap 6 of the race, and obviously come back into the pits to make his first proper stop. So that's why he's down in 18th place. A bit unlucky actually, as he qualified quite well in front of his home crowd.
I'm just feeling depressed again now. Thanks, Brickles.
Yoshida 13th, Vettel 16th.
Should be sponsored by Sertraline.
Sergio Perez back into the pits. That's his second scheduled stop, Sergio.
I think I am at this point, practically.
I just got that rightly. Yeah, and you're looking at your...
Sponsored by Tramadol.
Propanolol. Oh, God.
Wait for some Prozac for the race winner.
Oh. Fernando's in the pit.
No.
Oh.
Is he?
I swear I...
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah. Sorry. And Da Costa's also in the pits from 9th place. So these are the second round of stops beginning for Perez and Alonso and Da Costa. Yeah, you're looking at your sponsors earlier on. I'll just go through one of these Shake and Bake prototypes, which was the first prototype that was developed by Shake and Bake, inspired by the Brabham fan car, but instead of a fan, there was a pair of buttocks on the back. And they acted as a regenerative push-to-pass system. Promptly got banned by the AFIA due to visibility problems.
For the cars behind, that was.
Well, partly what came out of the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, apparently some brown debris hit Ralph Schumacher's helmet, and he didn't take too kindly when teammate Mark Webber, driver Pedersen at the time, called him a crap driver.
I call that tactic the dirty Sebulba.
Again, that sounds like an Urban Dictionary definition.
That's Ricciardo making his second pit stop, rejoined in 6th place ahead of Nico Rosberg. Made his way back up the order, now up to 7th, but as he was expected to be a championship contender, it's not where Rosberg wants to be. On Bobby Grosjean, he's made his second pit stop and he's chasing Antonio Felix da Costa for 13th place. And Perez, by the way, in 4th place behind Magnussen 3-stopping, Gonzalez 3-stopping 3rd, but Lee 2-stopping, so it's going to be interesting to see how all that pans out. Next point of interest in terms of the pit strategy battle is whether Magnussen can get out ahead of Sergio Perez as Felipe Massa comes into the pits.
Oh my god, a slipstream!
Grosjean, here he comes on Da Costa.
Yeah, clearly he's put the engine into the right setting there.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh, nearly wiped out Hamilton in the process.
He survived that. It's a strong rear end on that car.
Yep, survives for another lap. Or in Grosjean's case, another corner.
Talking of strong rear ends, do you need to make another promo?
Hold on a minute, let me have a look.
He's getting right onto it.
Yeah.
Lots of pit stops happening now. Here's another one. Kevin Magnussen from the race lead. Target to get out ahead of Sergio Perez. 4th place. The gap last time I checked was 21.9 seconds-ish. So he's gone a few laps longer. So here he comes. Kevin Magnussen ahead of Sergio Perez. So he's safe.
Nice.
So Magnussen, that's an important one.
All jokes aside, if it was an FJR win, I would, I might manage a well done.
If Magnussen does hold on to take the win, that would be his second win of the season, having won in Mugello earlier this season. Funny little bit that I found out about Mugello, the fastest laps, you normally tend to be slower than qualifying. In Mugello, both FJRs were faster in the race than they were in qualifying, which is very, very unusual.
It wasn't wet in quali, was it?
No.
Wet in the race.
No. And that's an X-Light versus Da Costa. Grosjean takes Da Costa.
Go on, Grosjean.
So it's making his way back up the order.
Yeah.
And Hamilton had taken Da Costa at some point before that as well. So Da Costa's slipping down the order a little bit. But he'll regain a position at the expense of Hamilton, making his second pit stop. And Gonzalez has made his second pit stop, by the way. Now down in 5th place behind Daniel Ricciardo, but just ahead of Fernando Alonso. As Hamilton exits the pits. 6.7 seconds stop, and he's down in P17. That could be a game-changing race for Hamilton if he has more like this. Never tended to go well at this in Montreal in FF1M. He had a bad one in 2014, and I don't remember how he did in 2015. But
Sorry.
Grosjean up to 7th. There's a GRM slowing down right in the way. It's Sainz. And Courtney has suddenly perked up because that is a Megatron issue for Carlos Sainz.
Right, contractually, he has to push the car around the rest of the race so that I get the engine development points.
Well, it's past half distance, so that's half development points. There's a Meister out of the race. That is Raikkonen, is it?
I think it's Kimi, yeah.
It's Kimi Raikkonen. Suspension failure on the Meister, so that's one climax gone from this race.
Speaking of climax, the Love Honey Big Bunny Girthy Rechargeable Rabbit Vibrator is down from $79.99 to $39.99. It comes in pink, the colour of the Meister, and also in black as well. I think the pink looks nicer, personally.
Again,
black looks sleek, though.
Just for research purposes, mind, are you able to circulate that through the usual comms?
Absolutely, will do. I'll put it on the group chat.
Thank you.
It was a very well-timed one for... well-timed ad break for Meister, because Massa had got ahead of Da Costa for 8th place. So I suspect Laura Chung might appreciate more of those.
The ad reads?
Yeah, if it's pink, the same colour of the cars.
Yeah. Well,
Cooper Lee into the pits.
That was a lady's toy, and I did a man's toy beforehand, so I'm keeping it equal. I'm keeping it equal, guys. Oh no, I'm not supposed to say guys, am I? Folks. Yeah, there we are. We're keeping it all equal.
Cooper Lee exiting the pits from a 6.3 second pit stop. He was about second in front of Magnussen, so now this is Magnussen's time to try and push hard, try and overcut Cooper Lee for the race lead once he makes his third and final pit stop. And Perez second, Ricciardo third, Gonzalez fourth at the moment, but here comes Gonzalez versus Daniel Ricciardo, battle for third incoming, and Lee, by the way, rejoined in 5th place between Gonzalez and Alonso. Now at the inside of the chicane, Gonzalez...
Oh, that's contact. Got away with it.
No contact, but a bit of brake smoke as Gonzalez piled it into the final chicane.
Cooper Lee's just behind Ricciardo now as well.
5th and 4th. And here's the other Mitchell of Lewis Hamilton.
Where the hell's Hamilton?
Hamilton down in 13th place.
13th, yeah.
That's Itsuki Yoshida in front of him. And let's see the power difference between...
Not that great.
Well, remember the Mitchell in the Mugen engine only limited to 20% ERS use in the race, as literally through the final chicane went Yoshida across the gravel. They tend to like that on this game.
Yoshida, decent job.
Not to 12th place at the moment, and they're having made 2 pit stops.
Roman's not in a bad job either, really.
Yeah, we've got both Excelites in the points. Alonso 6th, Grosjean 7th. Massa in 8th at the moment. I'd say that's quite a good effort from the Brazilian in the Meister.
Yeah.
And we've only had the 3 retirements so far, and they consist of Kimi Raikkonen in the Meister Climax, Carlos Sainz in the GRM Megatron, and John-Eric Verne, the only one of those 3 to have crashed out of the race. And that will hinder Mugen's development a little bit. Yeah, just going back to the Mugen customer points, 20% ERS use in the race, and in the Shake and Bake, up to 100%.
Yeah, sorry, no, I thought you meant the customer stats, which are obviously 69.
69, yeah. I don't think I've gone that high at any point. I think I've gone to 60. But...
yeah, I think... yeah, it went fairly high in Brazil. Let's see Hamilton's overtake attempt on Yoshida into the chicane. Deja vu! And
I like what you're doing there, Yoshida.
And
that was expert driving from Hamilton.
Yeah, inexplicably deciding to turn right into the wall of champions. Well, he is a 3-time champion, so might as well have a piece of that pie. Into the pits for his final pit stop. It's been a bit of a horrible race for Hamilton, actually.
Sebi Vet's in the pits as well.
Vettel into the pits for his final pit stop as well. Now, just trying to keep an eye as into the pits comes Thomas Gonzalez. The gap between Magnussen and Lee, that's a critical one for the race. And last time I checked, it was 20.8 seconds, so it's going to be super tight between Magnussen and Lee. And right on cue, Magnussen due into the pits this lap, as he approaches his own teammate to try and lap him. Hulkenberg not having the greatest of races, certainly not compared to Kevin Magnussen.
Who's been your better driver? Has it been Magnussen?
It has been Magnussen, yeah. Hulkenberg has been unlucky in a couple of races. In Mugello, I think he was on for a P3 before his engine blew up, and then Monaco, he had a loose wheel, but on a 2-stop strategy, I think he would have finished second in that race. Yeah. So Hulkenberg's not had the best luck this season. Now then, out of the pits comes Magnussen. Where's Cooper Lee? I think he's ahead of him. Cooper Lee had only just crossed the start-finish line there. So Kevin Magnussen, once Sergio Perez comes into the pits for his final stop, should retake the lead of the race. Through 3 and 4. And Grosjean into the pits. So just seen Alonso, he's made a pit stop already, so that's why he's down to 8th briefly, but should regain that once right on cue. Felipe Massa comes into the pits.
I've got to go, the coppers are after me.
I don't know if you can.
I don't know if they'll pick up on the microphone.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but police sirens are after some.
Well, the issue was there was a groundhog that was hit during one of the practice sessions. Turns out it wasn't a groundhog; it was actually one of the furry members, and one of my drivers is wanted for manslaughter now.
Perez into the pits now. He's only 20 seconds ahead of Gonzalez, so I think it's going to be quite close between the two Tornadoes. Let's keep an eye on the pit stop. How quick is it? It is 5.6 seconds. That could be enough to get out ahead of Gonzalez. Keep an eye on the background. He's just coming into the final chicane, is Gonzalez. Just coming out of the final chicane. Perez coming out the pits. It's going to be close, but he's got him. Perez goes to a net 3rd place in this race.
I just noticed they got a Huggies sponsor on the side.
A few different sponsors. They got Hollister as well, the clothing brand. And then there's your new 4th place driver, Gonzalez. Oh, Perez! He's hit the wall!
Oh.
Sergio Perez has crashed out on his outlap as well.
Does it definitely hit the wall, or is he retired? And
I did see a wheel off.
I think he's going to...
Here come physics.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's the same again.
Exactly the same as what Jean-Eric Verne did. So that's a Tornado out of the race. And Perez, I think, could be a championship contender because Tornado... Oh, somebody hit the wheel. Has Andrew hit the wheel, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Daniel Ricciardo.
How much damage did it do?
That's front wing damage.
Mm.
Yeah, he's going to come into the pits. So Ricciardo is going to drop down the order a little bit. It's not severe front wing damage, but you do take it a bit cautiously.
I think he's missing the entire half of his front wing.
Yeah.
I think that is pretty severe.
So that's going to move Gonzalez up to 3rd place, Alonso up to 4th, Grosjean up to 5th. So we've got 2 excellents now in the top 5.
Yeah. I'll reserve any celebration until... not over till the fat lady sings, eh?
Not over until I sing. That's just behind Da Costa in 7th. Ricciardo rejoining in 8th
We were both
place.
trying to work that one out, weren't we?
So now both Andrews in 7th and 8th place. So both still in the points, but could have been a bit more for Ricciardo. Could have been a 4th. But he's going to try and do something about Antonio Felix da Costa coming
Could
into...
descend in tears.
Yeah.
It could well do. I mean, the chicane has seen quite a few drivers cut it and brake extremely late, causing a bit of tyre smoke going through the left-hand apex.
Cool livery. I like that livery.
Yeah, it's based on the 2016 Sauber, I think it was.
Is it I think it's the 2017 one.
This 2017 had gold on it.
Yeah, I think it's the same sort of pattern.
Same
the 2016
shape,
one, I think, didn't have that
is this
pattern.
Is this going to end in tears? Is this going to be friendly fire?
And giving each other plenty of space. Very respectful.
Good battling between the two Andrews, who've had quite a good season actually. I think in the battle for 3rd in the championship. I think with FJR and Pedersen. So that should be interesting to see how that one develops.
Whereas meanwhile, me and Courtney are in the championship.
Well, it's going well for you at the moment.
Yeah, it's going. Yeah, so far. I know how this game ends.
Yeah, 4th and 5th. That's
yeah, but I know how this ends.
Especially Grosjean as well, because he was 14th on the grid.
He was 8th, and then had that, got a bit of Grosjeanitis, and went back to 12th or something. I fought back to 8th. Fought back up. So a bit fortunate with that with Perez, but gotta take it. And talking of taking it, any more sponsorship?
Side by side
plugs?
going into the final chicane.
Speaking of plugs.
And a bit of gravel hopping goes Da Costa, but both safe. Ricciardo up to 7th, Da Costa up to 8th. Now then, lap 57, Magnussen holds a 3.1 second lead over Cooper Lee.
Lee's impressed me.
He's been doing very well, has Cooper, and into the final chicane looks quite serene here.
Yeah. You know.
That's a commentator's curse right there.
Oh, I shouldn't laugh, but that was
Wow, that was careless. And what we've got, Hamilton chasing Hulkenberg. This is for 10th place now, so
is this later in the same lap?
this is on the same lap. So
Is it gonna come
currently,
across
Is this going to be another like? Is this going to be a? Nope.
Oh, he
that
does.
was- he doesn't.
He does it what Crofty would call the old switch around.
approaching the yellow flag zone where Cooper Lee has parked off somewhere, and there he is, Cooper Lee. So, well, that was a clumsy one from Lee.
Yeah, I feel. But is it Laura? Who's the team boss for?
For which one, Mitchell?
No, I just Mitchell. That was a Mitchell, was it?
Yeah. Well, that's now put Gonzalez second, Alonso third, Grosjean fourth. So more points for Excellite incoming if it stays like this.
If his F1 spelled backwards.
And now Massa and Ricciardo, 5th and 6th. That's the battle we're looking at right now. And I'll tell you what, Massa has had a very good drive from 12th up to 5th in the Meister, which is certainly not as good as the Andrew, but yet he's up to 5th, so it's been a very measured and controlled drive from Felipe.
Yeah.
And with Lee's crash, that's moved a Gajera up to 8th place, Robert Kubica. So Gajera could be getting themselves a little point.
Gajera have struggled this season. haven't they?
They've struggled massively, which is surprising. 'Cause
Yeah, they were that. Like, did you put them as you put them as either first or second in your
yeah,
prediction?
I put them first because I was expecting their engine to carry them, but obviously they've not really paid attention to their aero.
No, that feeling. I don't know, but in my case, it's not aero, it's engine.
Ricciardo making the move on Massa into the final chicane and up to 5th. Back up to 5th goes Daniel Ricciardo. So
He's driven well.
He has driven well, considering he's made 4 stops, one of them to replace a damaged front wing. But here comes Magnussen now on the final lap of the race, and well,
what can I say? Well done.
yeah,
You really, really deserve it.
It's just a formality now as he goes around the last couple of corners. You know, it really has been smooth sailing. There's
He's
pretty much nothing that can go wrong at this point.
No, and as he's about to wave to the crowd, is he going to hover his finger over the ignition?
do you know what's just entered my head? 2014, the race here where Button pulled off on the last lap at this very corner of the hairpin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was. But no such problems.
Was he going a bit slowly there? No, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
And his teammate in formation there, obviously he's a lap down, so he's not going to battle him or try any stupid moves into this corner coming up here.
It was a well-deserved
world
1-2.
champion. And he goes, "Oh, that's a bit hairy." Oh no, it's okay, don't worry.
It'd been funny if Hulk just told the wall.
Well, out of the final corner and taking his second win of the season is Kevin Magnussen in the FJR Judd, and he's had a good season so far and surely cementing himself as a solid championship contender.
Yep.
And win number 2 of the season.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere at the start of the season.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, when you consider that FJR were absolutely nowhere in the first 2 races, the turnaround has been quite something. Thomas Gonzalez taking second, so more useful points for the Argentine. Very consistent this season. And third, we've got an Exolite.
Hey, I'll take that.
And a fourth as well.
Yeah.
Good
That's
race.
those Megatron-powered Exolites doing very well there, despite their lackluster aero package.
That's an interesting interpretation of the result, but I'll,
Well, look, that's the results don't lie.
So the question is then, where the hell were you?
It'll appear on the next
technical
page.
difficulties.
Development season,
Yeah. You know, we've just spent so much time giving you such a good engine that we sacrificed.
And Ricciardo, Massa, Da Costa and Kubica completing the top 8, and there you can see the remaining runners. Latifi unlucky, I think, to finish 12th considering his early unscheduled pit stop. I think he could have been on course for some points, I reckon. Yoshida 13th ahead of Vettel, interestingly, and then Bottas 15th, and the 2 Willows rounding out the order 16th, 17th. The remaining 5, 3 of them crashed: Lee, Perez, Verne and Raikkonen and Seitz. As you can see on the right hand side, suspension and a loose wheel. What does that do for the championship? It's actually Thomas Gonzalez who takes the lead, thanks to his second place, moves 3 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And look at Kevin Magnussen, just 6 points behind Gonzalez now. And Cooper Lee fourth, could have been 39 points, but crashed it. And equally Sergio Perez losing out on some points. Ricciardo sixth, and Rosberg once again a poor race for himself, down in seventh in the championship. And both excellent lights in the top 10.
Yeah.
But remaining sixth in the championship, but closing in quite a lot on Pedersen, so you could join the battle.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I get somehow, if I get fighting for fourth, fifth, that would be decent damage limitation, I guess.
And the battle between the Southwest, Tornado versus Mitchell. It's now 74 points to Tornado, 71 for Mitchell.
Bloody hell, that's a big gulf for the top two to third, though, isn't it? Jesus.
And FJR hold on to third and extend that over Andrew Racing, who remain fourth. So, that was the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal. We'll move over to Wisconsin for the Road America circuit, a personal favourite circuit of mine. Good circuit. So from the three of us, we shall see you then.
Toodaloo.
Bye.